And what do you experience today as heaven in your life? I mean, I know one of your 4 children bring you every Sunday, so you really have continued to bless your family, and you have a good time in your life. She's over there in this wonderful assisted living experience, but she doesn't, like, people will come in and be negative around Phoebe, and she's sort of like, I just don't talk to them, and then they get kind of mad because I'm not going to complain with them.
But I just feel like it's wonderful in this new life that I've been out here for 13 years at the Forum. So I found one day that sometimes there would be negative talk, and I wasn't above that. I didn't feel that, except that it just wasn't, I didn't want to hear it anymore. so then I began to, I found that when I graduated to a cane, and when I had a cane and used that, and then I graduated to the walker, and when I'd go down for exercise, if the weather was bad, we'd walk the hallways. And I just began to talk to God and say, I love you and trust you and thank you, with my footsteps as I went. And that was wonderful. It was just something I wanted to do and did. And I don't know that I can think of something else.
No, that's beautiful. Well, you are experiencing the heaven of you, and that is what it is. It's the feeling, that oneness, and that sense of love for who you are and the Creator that is within you and all around you. That's heaven.
And I think with praying, what has come to me, that there are all these promises in the Bible saying He's with us all the time. So there's no need for me to beg Him to help me. So I just thank Him before it happens. And I say, you said it. You told me that you were going to be with me forever and never leave. And so that's what I think. And so that's the way, so my prayers were pretty short.
That's it. Well, we know they say that the best prayer is thank you. So thank you, and thanks for inspiring me. Our birthdays are a day apart, and she has a lot more energy than I do. So anyway, I love you so much.
I love you, Heidi.
What a treat. All right, so welcome you two. Tell me about your experience here and what feels like heaven in your life.
So Stephen and I have been here for about 4 months. We moved to the area, and our first week, we came to the Unity Temple, and we're like, whoa, this is what we need in our life. And what Unity has done for us is, allowed us to surround ourselves around like-minded individuals. It's not like our journey has changed much in our life, but the thought of our journey and how we think about our journey has dramatically changed because we surround ourselves with you guys. We surround ourselves with people, like-minded people that are thinking positive and thinking about their spiritual journey and focusing on that and moving towards that. So that's been a big part of heaven on earth for us, I guess you could say, is that just who we're surrounding ourselves with. And then we have learned to be authentic with ourselves. Heidi says we've learned to get naked, so so really living our authentic self and being true to ourselves. And then, we joined the prosperity group at Unity, and that has meant so much. We've really learned in the last 4 months, and it's really shown through in our life, how to live a prosperous life, how to think about a prosperous life, how to move towards that prosperous life, and how to tithe, and not just our income, but also tithe our talent and also tithe our time, so really putting all the pieces together so that, we can have a spiritual life, but putting our pieces together is surrounding ourselves with you guys, with like-minded individuals.
Oh, thanks, Nate.
Yeah. I think that's brilliantly said. The only thing that I might add to that is that, what we've found since we've joined Unity is acceptance. And that has really meant a lot to us in our personal life, with our personal journey, as well as our journey of finding heaven here on earth. In other areas of our life, we've always looked to find what we found here at Unity. And we found that oftentimes in other areas, we've experienced tolerance. And what I found is that I really believe that tolerance is a state of mind. You know, that you can make up your mind to tolerate someone, but I think that really true acceptance is a matter of the soul. And I think in finding that, we've really found that here at Unity, in that, we praise diversity here at Unity, and that we accept people for who they are rather than trying to change them or trying to make them someone that they're not, and accepting their belief, a new belief system. And along that journey, what I know I've personally found is a lot more of acceptance for myself as well. Along that journey of being able to really see how we are all connected, and be able to see the face of God in every person that we see, really has helped me as well to really have that acceptance for myself as well. And it's amazing as well, the journey that we've made and that we've experienced in gratitude. We've shared oftentimes that within our journey in life, we were always looking for the next thing. What's going to be that next thing? Okay, we've accomplished this, and now what's next? And what I think is important is that you do have goals in life, and goals that you are working towards, but that you don't get so caught up in winning the game that you forget to enjoy the game.
Oh, beautiful.
And I think sometimes that we all have a tendency to do that. And so a journey in gratitude for me and for us as well has been one of the great lessons that we've learned to help us to find heaven here on earth. It seems as though we tend to think that gratitude is that like chasing the wind. It's that thing that, once I get this, I'll be grateful. Or once I move on to that, then I'll be grateful. When in fact, gratitude's a state of mind that you reach right now. That you're as grateful. We all woke up yesterday morning and there was this beautiful, warm, sunshiny day that we were all grateful for. Were we all as equally grateful this morning when it was a little bit more chilly out? So finding the gratitude in the everyday things and everyday experiences that you have with each other, as well as with yourself, I think that to me is really how we find heaven on earth.
Beautiful, beautiful. And these two we had a Halloween masquerade party in our prosperity class, and these two came as in Ghostbuster outfits, but they had negativity busters on their shoulders. So we just really appreciated that.
Yep. It's all about finding the positive in life.
Yeah, and I think we're really talking about, it's not pretending. It is this idea of the exercise of where you focus, because we don't want to put a happy face on our gas tank. It's going to go empty, and it's not like I'm going to pretend to be happy. It's really the idea of how do I focus and look at all the ways that I am blessed. I'm breathing right now. I have love in my life, and I can always find that if I start recognizing it.
Absolutely.
So it's beautiful.
Surrounding yourself with all these beautiful people
Exactly.
that want the same thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, Mr. Westbrook, what's up around heaven in your life?
Well, heaven is here. It really is. But for Unity, I would not be able to sit here today and express the joy in my heart, because Unity has taught me how to find that joy every day. I have a story that is familiar to Heidi and a couple of you in the audience. A couple of weeks ago, nearly 2 weeks ago, I had a little experience with my dog. My dog is pretentiously named Hercules. And he has been in my life for 11 years. He's 12 years old. And as dogs will when they get older, he's not quite as feisty as he used to be. And I'm quite accustomed to him getting up and moving whenever I move, because he wants to know where the action is. There might be a treat in the deal somewhere in the future. So he kind of hangs out. He's not a seeing eye dog. The only time he serves as a seeing eye dog is when he's hungry and he pushes me into the utility room of the house and wants to be fed. So that's about the only, I know it's about twice a day, and it's pretty predictable. Well, this other evening, Wednesday night, I got up from my kitchen table and was about to move to another room in the house, and Hercules was in the kitchen, and I didn't know it. He didn't move, didn't make a sound. And so I tripped on him, and feeling myself about to collide with his chest with my knee, I wanted to protect him. So I quickly moved and made an alternative move, lost my balance, started to fall to the floor, and before I fell, I hit my left eye in the corner of the wall and lacerated it. It was just fairly painful. And I said to myself, as it happened, I said, all right, God, here's an adventure. Teach me. I really did. This is what I said to myself. I called a fellow who does some driving for me on the weekends, and he came over and he said, nah, it's no big problem. You've got a little cut beneath your eye. I think it's going to be okay. And at that point, it was hurting, but not really bad. So he put a little Band-Aid on it. Dr. Randy, I now call him. And he's never going to be my doctor again. And he went home, and I went back to my bedroom to brush my teeth, and as I bent over, I don't want to be too graphic, all sorts of fluids started coming out of my eye. Later, I learned it was the vitreous humor of the eye, it was blood, and it was extremely painful. So I called my housekeeper, who's a mother of 3 and a lot more shrewd about what to do in a situation like that. She looked at me and gasped and said, you're going to the emergency room. And long story short, the next day, the doctors, the surgeons, removed my left eye. Now you say, oh, I have been absolutely rejoicing over this. Let me tell you why.
Eventually.
First of all, that eye wasn't doing anything for me for 40 years. You know, it really was extra baggage, that's right. And I have had this really paranoid feeling. You see, when you're totally blind, it isn't that you see black. That's what people think, but it's not true. It looks sort of like a version of those TV screens that you used to see when there was no station broadcasting and you weren't on cable. You know, it's all this fuzz. But it's really quite different than that. It's really unexplainable. But since I've been blind, I've had this notion that I see sort of silhouettes of people, energy sources. You know, I really can sort of tell that Heidi's over there and these folks are next to me and I see my hand up here. I don't see the hand, but I sense it. And so for a long time I've worried that maybe those are just random rogue shafts of light that are coming into a very sick eye, going through a barely functioning optic nerve and getting to the brain. And what would happen if I lost my eye? Would I lose that sensation? Here's the good news. I can't see any worse than I did before. And so there's a sense of completedness that comes to me from losing an eye, knowing that I have to get a prosthesis, and the other eye will also need that as well. And rather than worrying about it or being harmed by it or being fearful because of it, I can rejoice by this sense of completedness that I have. I wouldn't have that were it not for the principles that I've learned in the Unity movement. This movement gives me a sense of understanding what Melissa was really singing about at the opening when she talked about being grateful for eternity. Infinity is an invention of man. It's a concept of time. Eternity is an invention of God. It's a concept of spirit. And I know that God is with me eternally, whether I'm here on this planet, in this manifestation, or somewhere else, doing something else. I know that that spiritual connection is always there. And because it's there, I don't have to fear. Because it's there, I can exercise faith. And because I've done that a while now, and it works, I know that when I go through an adventure like I went through a few days ago, it is an adventure that is going to inspire me and teach me. There was some pain, and there was a little fear, and there's been some sadness. It's not nice to lose an organ. You kind of get attached to these things. But I don't have to mask the sadness with phony humor. I don't have to make it into a dramatic event. It's just another day in my life where Spirit serves me so very well. So that's why I'm grateful today, and that's heaven on earth for me, Heidi Alfrey.
Beautiful, beautiful. I told you, insight, not eyesight. Well, thank you, family. And so let's take that inspiration into our holidays. So let's go on and move our chairs back. And